Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChara coming to you live from downtown Flushing, New York, with a flashing billboard thing here. Let me turn this off for a second. I don't know why that's happening, but wow, that was strange. If you're watching live, give me a hashtag live. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. And yeah, okay, we got rid of the flashing screen. I don't know if you saw it, but I did. Thank you for joining me if you're here. If you're not here, you're watching the replay. And if you have any questions, I want you to know that you can always post something in the chat. I will get a message that somebody responded to it, and I will respond back to you. And that's what I'm here for. If you don't know me, I am a CPA, over 35 years of experience, and I specialize in working with an unserved, not underserved, but totally unserved market called sole proprietors and solopreneurs. And I'll tell you what, there's 25 million sole proprietors. And that is the worst way to do business. Out of 30 million businesses, over 25 million are classified as sole proprietors because I don't know, because it doesn't make sense. The only thing that makes sense is that most of them, the majority of them, have not been educated. And that's what I'm trying to do here. My team and I are trying to do here at Bedrock Business Builders. And there's a couple of ways to connect with us. I just put timewithjoe.com, which is one way. I will be glad to give you, free 15, 20 minutes consultation on any tax or business questions that you have. If you have questions about relationships or how to raise your kids or stuff like that, I have no clue. So if you keep it to bookkeeping and taxes and accounting, I think I can probably help you. Another way is to join our free mastermind group. We meet every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a lot of fun. We do deep dives into business issues. We have great guests come on and do training, world-class people that you would have to pay a lot of money for to have access to. So that's two ways to get me, get in touch with me, connect with me, and through Facebook or LinkedIn or what I just connected with an old friend that I don't think I've spoken to in like 10 or 15 years, I think. And she saw me on LinkedIn and we connected, and now we're doing business again. It's amazing. It's amazing how small the world has become. And a lot of people are taking advantage of it. I think that was one of the good things that happened as a result of the pandemic. Not everything has been good, though, especially if you're a small business owner. And we're going to try this again, and there we go. So I have another new webinar coming up, and that's what I want to talk about tonight. Some of the topics that we're going to cover, because you see, it's like I always said, what I found out is life is tough. If you don't like it, what are you going to do about it? The only thing you can do is accept the fact that it's tough, and then maybe you can deal with it and be happy. That's what I learned on a personal level. And then on a business level, what happens is we put even more insanity and chaos into our lives by starting a business, because starting a business is not easy. It's more complicated now than ever, folks. Technology shrunk the world. It made things a lot easier. I mean, just the fact that I can do Facebook Live here. I'm on YouTube. I'm streaming in 4 different locations on Facebook. It's amazing to me. It's amazing the things that we can do on the fly for little or no money that used to cost tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, forget about doing videos and stuff like that. You were talking, you had to have money for stuff like that. And then if you invested it, just like now, you could spend the money and get no results. So there's a lot of dishes spinning, and it's tough. It is tough. So now what's happened is because the IRS, the government agencies are all underfunded. Okay. That's a fact. The IRS is grossly underfunded, understaffed. That was before the pandemic. Throw the pandemic in, so you get a large organization whose main focus, the IRS's main focus, is to collect money and police us. That's their main focus. So now, once COVID hit, they got crippled like every other organization. I don't care if it doesn't matter. Schools, everybody all over the world have been impacted. So the IRS was broken before, now it's crushed. There's really strange things going on. The post office is broken. So the way to communicate with the IRS, the only way to communicate with them is through the mail, and now the post office is late, and then the IRS is late on opening the mail when it gets there. So what is a person to do? What are we going to do to survive? And hopefully not only survive, but capitalize, benefit from some of the things that have become available. And that's what I'm going to talk about in the workshop. So in this workshop, I'm going to cover a lot of new things. Stuff is happening with the PPP loans. They're still available. EIDL loans, which they closed for a long time, are available again, but the windows close very quickly. And I have an acquaintance, actually a friend now, Lisa Rodino, that specializes in that stuff. We're going to talk about the unemployment stuff that's going on. Should you file an amended return? Tax credits. They expanded things with the child tax credit, the earned income credit, and also amended returns. I've been filing so many amended returns already. But now we're going to hold off on most amended returns to let the IRS get their act together. Okay. And it's going to take a long time for them to get their act together. And we're going to talk about, how does a new business owner deal with these issues? They were hard enough before the pandemic. Now it's going to be even harder. One of the shock effects or whatever is the fact that, the IRS didn't turn off the collection machine. They're still sending collection notices, and they don't stop. So if you have a problem with the IRS and you're going to try to mail them a letter like I have, that's the normal procedure, chances are they're not going to open it for a long time. And if the time goes too long, the computers are still spitting out the collection notices because the computer is saying they didn't respond yet. So we're going to collect our money. And that's the state of the IRS. And it's not just the IRS, folks. I don't want to keep blaming they're an easy target. The truth is that I empathize with the IRS employees because they know that things are messed up, and my aunt worked for the IRS for 25 years, so they got a hard job. They got a hard job enough. At the state and local level, there are major problems. I have heard stories about people in the state of California calling up the franchise tax board and actually being yelled at and ridiculed on the phone. And that is amazing to me. These phone calls are supposed to be recorded. And it wasn't one client that told me that when they called up, they felt like they were a little child. Okay. It was a bunch of them. And you know, the state of California is in a whole different category when it comes to compliance. I pray for people when I hear that they are living in California. Not that I have anything, any problem with the state. I lived in California for 2 years. I love the state. It's way too expensive. Way too, not only, okay, so I could deal with expensive, but how could I put this? What they're doing, I think, should be criminal. The way that they are hurting businesses in so many different ways. So that's my story, folks. I'm sticking with it. The webinar is going to be Tuesday, April 6th, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't have a link for it yet. I will. If you want information on it, you can go to Time with Joe or just visit us in the Mastermind with Joe DiChiara. God bless. Thank you. And I will be back again tomorrow with more amazing